Don, how much will the injuries offer up an excuse to silence the critics of Milan from this performance?
I think it's fair, Dan. I think it's fair. As I said before, a lot of those guys who are injured would have played. I mean, they've got so many injuries. Mike Magnon's one of the best goalkeepers out there in Europe. The stand-in replacement tonight I thought was awful. As Craig said, from set plays, he was nowhere near dominating his 18-yard box. I think Theo Hernandez is one of the best left-backs in world football. He would have started. Simon Kjær would have probably started as well. Then you go into the front areas, you think Salamakas and Zlatan, maybe not Origi. So there's one or two excuses where you think they're not going to start. But I think we're just looking at a strange old season, Dan. I mean, you know, trying to figure out where everyone's going to finish now until a busy Champions League period where all the games have got to be done, the group stages have got to be done before the World Cup. Then you go into a World Cup and we're trying to figure out who's going to be fit and available and staying behind and which players are going to play. It's just an absolute, you know, it's crazy to think where we could be in 2 or 3 months' time. But I think for Milan, they were nowhere near it tonight.
I get the injuries and it's not easy, but for 20 minutes they actually passed the ball and they looked good and they got it out to Leao, and he's fast and he's pacey and he's strong and he's direct, and they got a bloody nose, as I said, and they stopped doing it, and it's almost as if they gave up. Now I understand you're not going to get your best performance with those players, but I don't think there's any excuse for what was no attempts in the second half, certainly not up to the 90th minute. None.
Yeah.
It's just not acceptable.
No, well, at that point in the game, Chelsea were dominant, weren't they? I mean, Chelsea were in cruise control. I thought Reece James I thought he was the best player on the pitch, guys. I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah, the way he took his goal, Frank, was a bit special, wasn't it?
I mean, that's so clever, the way he decided to shoot, because most players would have to try to cross, try to find the far post on the floor. And he knew exactly, because goalkeeper nowadays, you know, they're very on their knees, very low in their position. And he shot very high and smashed it. I mean, he's so secure with his technique that he exactly knows where he can find the right spot to beat the goalkeeper. But I do have to give credit to Raheem Sterling on that specific action where he fixed the two defenders and gave a great assist to Reece James as well.
They really have got choices in the wing-back positions on. I know Azpilicueta's a different kind of player, and he hasn't got the dynamism of Reece James, who I agree with the boys. I just think he's a brilliant footballer. And look at the other side. Cucurella was, I can't remember exactly, 60 million, but then Chilwell's back in the side and looks sharp, and so he's got wing-back. He's got two choices of wing-back on either side. That's a strong position for them. But Reece James is nailed that right-back slot for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And for England, and you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's the talk of the town at the moment for his defensive issues. He's not only got the defensive issues in the international side, he's got competition, huge competition, because Reece James is a super attacking player. He's got everything. I mean, when you're talking about a footballer, he's big, he's strong, he's quick, he's talented, he's got good feet, he can score a goal, he can defend, he can go back and play centre-back in a back three. He could probably play centre-back in a back four. We talk about Alexander-Arnold going into midfield. He could probably go into midfield and do a job. He's such a good footballer. So the world's his oyster at the moment in this sport.
Right.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.